Good morning to most, good afternoon to others, and good evening to our viewing audience across the pond. My name is the often tardy Jason Miles, and welcome to another episode of This is Revolution Podcast. I love these ominous sounds. Get me excited for what's about to go down today for the show. I do want to apologize for being late. It is my fault. It's solely my fault. I've never felt more 47 in any moment in my life like today. The party all night, I'm totally good with. Every day, rock and roll part, that's fucking me. Or is that the other way around? Not the biggest Kiss fan. It's hanging out with Ben Burgess. The wee hours of the morning here in beautiful Baja, California. And I fell asleep in the living room. I keep all my windows and everything open so the sun just woke me up, and I was like, it's like a Lestat. It's like, go away! Ah! I'm never like that. So, but I'm here. We're about to do this. Everybody's excited. Hope you guys are excited. Let's bring in the crew. My homie, my co-host, my dog. The king of Miami. He's the man of the Mau Mau Hour. He is the Pascal Robert.
Please to the audience. Please to be Miles.
Right? See? Pascal's ready. Is the voice of reason ready? You know her as the faceless, never tasteless, M. Toussaint.
Hello. So good to be here on Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. Do you remember the 21st of September?
Do they really have their own day?
Yeah, man.
Is it in New York? Where are they from? Are they from Cincinnati?
Oh, I don't remember.
Where's Earth, Wind, and Fire from, Pascal?
They're from the South, aren't they?
I thought they were from Cincinnati. I feel like all the funky Negroes is from Cincinnati.
All good funk is from Ohio.
Right? And it's like that region of Ohio, too. So I do want to send a shout out to a good friend of mine. So the other night on the show, if you guys were watching, was it the Champagne Room that was happening too? Somewhere my phone was ringing.
Mm-hmm.
In the Champagne Room, I kept getting a phone call. I was like, who the fuck is calling me? Didn't know what I do. And it was a buddy of mine who I hadn't seen in quite a few years. He's a concert photographer that I met when my ex and I were opening for a larger band called Godflesh. He happened to be a fan of that band, and he really liked us. And when we would go back to Portland where we met him, we would stay at his house. We met his family, and he has a young daughter who's about 12 now. We met his daughter, God, that was 10 years ago, so she was a couple years old. And when she turned about 6 or 7, she was like, Daddy, I want to go with you to work to shoot the concerts. And he gave her a little camera that he wasn't using, and she started shooting these concerts. So for a few years, this little girl's been shooting concerts. And so he was calling to tell me that they drove all the way up to Seattle. They got photo passes because he works for a weekly in Oregon, in Portland. They drove all the way up to Seattle to shoot a Megadeth show. And they got in the photo pit. She got passes in the photo pit. She took pictures. And you take those pictures and you send them in to the publicist of the artist that you shoot. And he got a phone call back from the publicist, or an email back from the publicist. He says, the only time I get emails, Jason, is when we F up something. There's a lot of rules to taking pictures for artists, especially post Beyonce and that Super Bowl where the artists, the photographer took the picture with that high frame rate camera and then kind of froze it where her body was all contorted. So there's like so many rules about what you can take and blah, 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 blah. So he thought he got in trouble. And the publicist was like, Dave Mustaine, who is the lead singer and guitar player of Megadeth, she goes, he saw you with your daughter and thought it was cool that you brought your daughter to photograph, and he really liked the photos that your daughter took. So he wants to fly you and your daughter out to Ohio and do a promo photo shoot and then shoot the concert. And I was like, oh, dude, that's so fucking rad. Oh, yeah. Like, that's some dad of the year shit. 12 years old. 12 years old. And now she's getting flown all over the country to shoot rock stars. That's pretty fucking cool. Wouldn't you say so, Tucson?
Word.
Very cool.
Did you have any special talents at 12?
Special talents. I was an artist.
Like, what are you talking about over here?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I was graffitiing.
She went to fashion design to learn how to graffiti art.
She went to,
Yes.
all you seen the train is big block letters, right? Crime in the city, right?
That's not what he said. We have a super chat from Joshua Bauman.
Mm-hmm.
TIR accepts tips.
Yes.
I very quickly want to give a shout out to T in the chat for giving me the idea for this episode.
Oh, that's okay, because you hit me up out of the blue for that. So Tucson hit me up and she goes, something happened. We were supposed to do someone else this day. I think this was the day we were supposed to talk to Nando about the documentary, right? It wasn't working out. I forget what we were going to just throw in. And she goes, hey, I got an idea. Angela Rye was just recently on the Breakfast Club. And when she said that, my brain just shut off. All those words together made me go, and. And she was like, we should talk about black ventriloquism. And of course, I thought of Willie Tyler and listening. But recently, political commentator and NGO CEO Angela Rye appeared on the Breakfast Club morning show, engaging with Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein and her running mate, Butch Ware. Rye wasted no time in attacking Stein, invoking the well-worn spoiler argument, often cited by liberals and conservative critics alike, framing this election as the most important of our time. This rhetoric pits a perceived fascism from the right against a supposed fascism from the left, which conveniently reinforces the capitalist status quo by limiting political debate to the narrow confines of the two-party system. In her critique, Rye portrayed Stein as a political failure, dismissing her candidacy as a distraction from the real issues facing Black Americans. This critique, however, serves to obscure the reality that Stein, while flawed, represents a political platform far to the left of anything the Democratic Party offers. Stein's Green Party candidacy pushes for policies that directly confront the neoliberal and imperialist frameworks of both major parties, a fact seemingly lost on Rye, who positions herself as a spokesperson for the 41 million Black Americans. 41 million plus. There's even more than 41 million. Rye's role in this context mirrors what Adolph Reed Jr. critiqued over 3 decades ago in his collection of essays, Class Notes, in the chapter titled, What Are the Drums Saying, Booker? Reed describes how Black public intellectuals often serve as intermediaries for white audiences, performing an interpretation of the Black experience that suits liberal sensibilities. Rye's race reductionist arguments, presented as radical critiques, actually reinforce the logic of liberal pluralism and identity politics, reducing complex issues like capitalism, imperialism, and class struggle to mere questions of racial representation. While Rye has occasionally voiced concern over U.S.-backed atrocities such as the genocidal war in Gaza, her alignment with Kamala Harris, a Black woman who has publicly supported Israel's right to defend itself, underscores her complicity in the very structures of imperialism she claims to oppose. This reflects a broader tendency in the liberal racial discourse, where race-conscious rhetoric is weaponized to justify imperialist and capitalist policies under the guise of representation. In essence, Rye is engaging in what might be termed race-conscious imperialism, using racial identity as a shield for defending a capitalist imperialist agenda. This is a continuation of the tradition Reed identified, one where race is used to deflect from class struggle and systemic critique, ensuring that neoliberal capitalism remains unchallenged when presented as a fight for racial justice. Pascal Robert, you listened or watched the video that I sent. I tried to find one where we didn't have to watch the whole thing. And it was a Karen Hunter video, which is also extremely disgusting. What was your take on Angela and her attack on Jill Stein?
I think she was fulfilling her traditional role as the kind of hack / spokeswoman for the Democratic Party, realizing that the existential threat that the Green Party poses to the Democratic Party candidacy of Kamala Harris in this election is rather significant, particularly in states like Michigan and maybe even Florida, where there are large populations of communities, i.e., Muslim communities or Palestinian communities, that are dissatisfied with the quiescence of the Democratic Party on the issue of the Gaza genocide. And not only the quiescence, but the out and out uh, participation in financing and funding and militarizing the Israeli occupation in that area. So she is doing her job by using race as a shield for the Democratic Party, which is ultimately, as Butch Ware correctly noted, what Kamala Harris is doing with her candidacy, using her black womanhood as a shield for the imperial kind of posturing of the Democratic Party. And Kamala Harris is using Angela Rye as a co-signing kind of signatory to that type of policy by being her foot soldier in that regard.
Tucson.
Well, we just got this comment. Rye is not important. Zionists have a lot of control in government. I think Rye is sort of important as an example of this kind of racial ventriloquist because it works.
Mm-hmm.
It silences a lot of people, and you absolutely have to call it out.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was even more important, Toussaint, is that number one, the only people who are qualified to really call it out are radical left black folk who understand and see through it, because liberals, particularly in even white leftists, don't necessarily seem to have the bona fides or the understanding of the dynamics of racial brokerage politics or racial ventriloquism to effectively speak on how these Negroes will use the capacity to fictitiously speak on behalf of black people to craft the politics that works at the behest of the centrist corporate forces within their respective parties, instead of actually dealing with the actual needs and desires of those constituencies. So what ends up happening is that Angela Rye ends up representing a kind of class politics where she might represent black people, but what kind of black people? The kind of black people who are waiting for ascendancy into contracts with Democratic donors so they can market themselves to the candidates of the choice that are of the day that are needed for black votes or need black votes. So again, she represents this kind of like Joy-Ann Reid, Angela Rye, Roland S. Martin, black chattering class personalities who are very financially comfortable, well in tune with the Democratic Party, and work to shape black collective opinion and chastise black opinion when it doesn't meet the needs of the party. And my argument is that if it's not so important, then why do they do it all the time?
How do you what was your take on the way she kind of attacked the Butch Ware cat as well? Like every time dude tried to speak, she definitely shushed him as much as she could. Like, nigga, we're not talking to you.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that, Jason.
Yeah.
Do you feel that there was a certain kind of gender politics involved in that dynamic where she was kind of like, listen, I don't care if you are a black man or not. A black woman is running for president here. If that's not your primary goal, then you are illegitimate. Now, I mean, listen, I'm familiar with Butch Ware. Butch Ware is pretty much, in terms of Islamic studies, he's a very heavyweight guy. I mean, he studies Islam in West Africa, and he's very well known in terms of Islamic studies. And he's an expert at the Islamic remnants of Muslims in the African diaspora in the West. And he's not a lightweight. And I think he availed himself very well. And when he said that he was tired of black womanhood being used at the dispatch of protecting imperialism, that was a very powerful return or retort. But what is interesting to me is that how I see Angela Rye trying to kind of use the gender politics of Black Girl Magic to kind of castrate his agency in that particular segment. What are your thoughts on that, Jason?
I mean, you mean the super mammy?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, let's call it what it is. It becomes this kind of super mammying, and that's really what she did. It was frustrating. I called Toussaint and bitched at her because I was like, this you made this my homework.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did, I went back and reread that chapter in class notes. And I found that essay and sent it to you guys because it felt so prescient for something that was written 30 years ago to hit the nail on the head. And actually the people he calls out in that essay, despite the fact the ones that are passed away, the ones that are still alive are still doing the same thing. And what's funny is in this world, sometimes they're heralded as radicals. Robin Kelly, Cornel West, you know, I find that kind of funny. I think Angela Rye went there with a plan of attack. And it was if this Black man dare speak up, I'm going to come at him because you Negroes nowadays are the what was the thing you said the other day, Toussaint? Black guys are the white guys of people.
Straight Black men are the white men of the Black community.
There was a whole article that was titled that literally infuriated me that came out years ago.
She played that up. That like you can't really tell me what to do because you know I'm going to super mammy myself all over the place here, and Jill Stein had said something critiquing AOC that was not the meanest thing I've ever heard, and Angela Rye immediately goes, "You have to stop talking about women of color."
What kind of identity politics nonsensical garbage is this, man?
It's the way
it makes a pattern.
It's the way most people see the world, though, because this is the way even people in quote unquote left spaces that love white supremacy narratives. If that's the only way you can see the world through a certain type of privilege of certain people, then if Jill Stein dare critique Kamala Harris, well, then it is a knock on Black women everywhere. You know, in the champagne room when those guys mildly laughed at a joke that wasn't that funny, all those women had to take to the internet to get hundreds of thousands of streams to say that these Black men don't support us. Everybody turns into Esther Roll all of a sudden when they get frustrated, and that's kind of how I felt when I watched that thing, and then watching it through the Karen Hunter show didn't make it any better.
Oh, Karen.
Karen Hunter is the one that just eviscerated Breonna Joy Gray to the point where that woman is still trying to, you know, redeem
her edges
herself. Yeah.
Talking about edges. Damn.
Oh my God.
Fuck. Yeah, that. And I don't say that in a good way. I don't say that in any kind of good way where right on Karen Hunter. I think Karen fucking sucks. But Angela Rye had the best situation for her to do that girl shit. It was a Black dude that was like blackety black with literally the whitest woman in the history of white women. If you were going to draw a picture of an old white lady, you probably draw Jill Stein. The optics were there for her to, you know, girl all over the place.
As she
Angela Rye said Butch Ware was with the other side. What's the other side?
A white person, Jill Stein.
She's like, you ran against a Black woman governor. It's like, so give a shit.
She also ran against a black president. She didn't mention Barack by name. She referred to him as the first black president.
What?
She's such an identity politics pimpstress, man. It's so
Who's
ridiculous.
that? Who's the black guy? Was it named Mark Robinson?
The guy from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would have brought him up the whole time. I was like, yeah, like Mark Robinson. And I bet she would have been like, I don't know. That doesn't. Like, no. All these niggas is the same, bitch.
Well,
Let's talk about him. Talk about good old Timmy Scott.
Also, to Angela Rye's point, her comment about Butch Ware being with the other side, Kamala Harris is technically also with the other side. She is running with Tim Walz, and she's also married to a white man. But I guess that doesn't count.
It doesn't matter because she used to fuck Montel Williams.
Wow.
That's all that matters.
Mic drop.
Did I send you that clip, Pascal, of this channel on Instagram? They put all these old Bay Area news clips up, and they have an old news clip of Willie Brown when he won mayor, and Kamala Harris is standing next to him, and they're like, Willie Brown surrounds himself with beautiful young ladies. And they walk up to Kamala Harris and they go, are you Willie's daughter? She goes, no, I'm not.
Are you Willie's daughter?
Send that to me, please.
He was like 66 at the time. Yeah, that's a pretty good question to ask. Are you Willie's daughter? No, I'm not. No, she wasn't. She was not.
Wow.
How does the spoiler argument, which Angela Rye wields against Jill Stein, serve to reinforce capitalist hegemony, maintaining the illusion of choice within the two-party system? In what ways does this narrative limit the political imagination of voters by framing alternatives like the Green Party as distractions rather than legitimate challenges to neoliberal capitalism? At some point, I think that's Angela Rye's first attack on Jill Stein, is that she was a loser and that she was just kind of trying to spoil this election for black people.
Well, I think that argument diminishes from the realization that we're in a kind of rigged system in the first place. That when you have parties like the Democratic Party, which will literally try to sabotage the capacity of the Green Party to get on the ballot in certain states and challenge them judicially and otherwise, and that, the notion that we have a democracy in a country where we only have two political parties is kind of ridiculous in the first place. So what ends up happening is that we have a fixed system where the political choices of the American people are dictated by corporate forces that control the parties, and that anytime there's an attempt to try to open up the options, you're considered to be a spoiler or a loser or a perennial candidate, which is something that Angela Rye, who's, she's a mouth. Listen, Angela Rye comes out of the Congressional Black Caucus. She worked in the CBC as an aide for years. She's been a Democratic functionary her whole life. She has no bona fides in trying to challenge the system in any way. She's basically, her whole career has been about putting a black face on the normative corporate function of the Democratic Party and politics and candidates like Barack Obama, from Barack Obama to Kamala Harris, who don't challenge the system, or her bellwether. So again, her trying to game the system by saying that the Green Party is a spoiler. Well, I'd like to see, then if that's the case, well, good for the Green Party, because what we see needs to be spoiled.
Toussaint?
I think that when you have a third party candidate such as the Green Party, it highlights how similar the Democrats and Republicans are. It really isn't much daylight between them on many, many issues, and they don't want that exposed. So they collude with each other to keep out third parties. And I'm glad that Jill Stein exposed some of that and talked about the particular ways in which specifically the Democratic Party was trying to sabotage the Green Party. Ultimately, she was right in saying that nobody owns your vote. Politicians are supposed to earn your vote, but the Democratic Party feels that they own a lot of votes. They own the votes that would have gone to the Green Party, and that's absolutely false. It's up to the Democrats to appeal to those voters, and they insist on not doing it. So they lose those votes, and ultimately that's their fault.
Well, Angela Rye doesn't like progressive politics. And for a lot of people, progressive politics is just simply race reductionism.
Class reductionism.
Sure. A little bit of that too. I mean, that was progressive politics all throughout the 80s and 90s. I don't know why people think that much has changed in a post George Floyd moment. Like, really, what really stuck from that moment? Here, I'll let you talk, Pascal.
No, I mean George Floyd really all it did is open up a lot of corporate DEI kind of racial kind of wealth redress capital to the corporate forces that didn't really trickle down into poor and working class black people. And it was a moment of a lot of vapid conversation with no real solutions. What do you think, Tuton? The post George Floyd moment. What did it result in?
Yeah, vapor. There's kind of nothing left of that. I think in a lot of ways people actually wanted to put that moment behind them. They don't want to think about that time because it was also, during the pandemic. And that has been memory hold. We don't want to talk about that.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely a rough situation that does not really. I mean, I think that what's also happened is that the right very effectively turned the post George Floyd moment into an indictment of critical race theory and all of the diversity, equity, and inclusion policies that have come around in the post civil rights era, and used them as a means to demonstrate how all of that politics has justifiably, in their eyes, fueled this white racial grievance that has popularized the rise of Trump.
They also managed to get defund the police flipped into fund the police even more.
Exactly. And as with people like Biden as well, who never really stood by defund the police. He even used that kind of rhetoric to co-sign more carceral politics.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It was amazing how effective the right was in getting the Dems to flip.
So it was definitely not. I would say it was definitely a net loss for progressives, a net loss for the left, and it was really just virtue hoarding opportunity for corporate DEI and liberal specialists who wanted to have the moment to kind of highlight racial grievance in a way that didn't do the best to really address the issues at a core level, which is challenging capitalism.
Mm-hmm. They never want to do that. No. We have to leave that intact and only rearrange the deck chairs, right?
Exactly. So, unfortunately, that leaves the situation in a position where we're not able to actually change things around, but we're stuck with this kind of race reductionist analysis that people like Angela Rye specialize in, where she could talk about, like, you're talking about campaigning against a black woman. As if so what? Was it a crime? Jill Stein can't run against a black woman. Why? Why not?
Everybody is supposed to put everything aside. Do you remember when Barack was running And I think TARP was about to be passed, or whatever that emergency measure was. He was able to muscle the Congressional Black Caucus into voting for it because he needed them to fall in line in terms of being Black people and to be on his side. And that kind of strong arming works with Black people when a Black person stands to gain a powerful office like the presidency.
It's ridiculous, man. This kind of kind of identity politics has got to really, really be kicked to the curb.
Sorry about that, guys. It's not bad.
How's the Phoenix?
He's great. He's great. He wanted to show me he's drawing me a dinosaur. His dinosaur drawing skills have greatly improved. Back to more serious matters. Adolph Reed Jr. critiqued the role of Black public intellectuals in his essay, What Are the Drums Saying, Booker? How does Angela Rye's approach embody the race reductionism Reed warned about, where identity politics takes precedence over a materialist analysis of class struggle?
Because her politics are a class politics. She represents a class of Black people in and of herself that are not interested in the issues of working class Black people who are the majority. So what happens is that she's interested in protecting Kamala Harris as a Democrat without realizing that the Green Party has better materialist politics on its face than the Democratic Party overall. And second of all, her interests in the Democratic Party are not rooted in what exactly is it going to do for the Black constituency or for working class people overall, but that, oh, we've got to keep Trump out of office because Trump is bad, Trump fascist, Trump this.
And Butch Ware pointed out, Dr. Butch Ware pointed out during the interview that, fascism is kind of already here. And he pointed out some of the ways that the Democratic Party is already participating in it. Certainly, strong arming people for their votes is kind of fashy.
Like the mob? Like they go shake down a store?
A little bit. It'd be a shame if something happened to that vote of yours.
This is an awesome comment. Race Reset said Adolf is an Uncle Tom because he uses big words. That's awesome. That is the best. That's the best, most racist comment ever. Man, using them big ass words. Who is that for? We don't bees reading.
Sounds like a skit from the Boondocks.
Right? These niggas. Like, again, that's the thing, though. When you get called out, you can play up your quote-unquote Black realism, your authenticity, by just saying some ignorant-ass bullshit. Right?
Yeah.
And don't listen to that nigga with his big words.
Don't trust them new niggas over there.
Like, how can you Uncle Ruckus somebody like that and not feel a little bad? You know what I mean?
Speaking of Uncle Ruckus, man, that guy Mark Robinson is like taking.
The fuck fell into your cornflakes this morning, funny guy? I'm not gonna let you forget that edges shit. I don't think I should cut it because it might be a problem, but
Edges are a sensitive topic.
Why is it such a sensitive? Why are such? It's just a joke. It's a little comedy.
That's the joke that'll get you fucked up. And I feel like a Haitian woman would fuck you up too. I feel like a variety of women from the African diaspora.
Yes, they will. Edges are important. Edges are life. Guys care about their edges too.
Lineups are everything.
Don't trust that nigga.
You ain't got a lineup that's correct.
Oof.
Yeah, I'll be getting enhancements.
I don't understand. I think you better let it go. Let it go.
Looks like another TKO.
Like, let that shit go. If you got to have somebody fucking do a whole Style Wars beat street fucking throw up on your forehead so it could look like you got a hairline, let that shit go. Just shave it. Fuck.
A little.
He wanted some enhancements. I'd be damned if I go to the barbershop and this motherfucker looks like the Body Shop because he's got an auto sprayer and all this other Negroes getting hair weaves for their beards. It's like, come on, y'all. Jesus. Mm-hmm. It's the Atlantification of the urban community. That's how these two British dudes caught all this hell because they said they went to Atlanta and they said there was no bad chicks there.
Oh, word?
I was like, why would you take that seriously? I just would have went in one ear and right out the other. Like, that's not true. At all.
All been on church or something like that.
Went to the wrong church. They went to the Jehovah's Witness temple.
Yep.
They went to the one Mormon church in all of fucking Atlanta. I feel like if you went to the Mormon church in Atlanta, you still see some baddies.
What?
Like all the bad chicks from Idaho and Utah left. That's what Atlanta's. There's no reason to look fucked up in Atlanta. There's a hair shop every 5 feet. Hair shop, nail shop every 5 feet. Hair shop, nail shop, barber shop.
Edges be tight.
Can you imagine being in Atlanta with fucked off edges?
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh. How do I?
Stop it.
Like, don't do that at all. Hold on, we got some more things to address. I hope my son's not watching this. Mommy, what are edges?
You'll never have to worry about that.
I want that. I thought we were going to be more angry during this show. I didn't know Pascal was going to fucking come out like Sheppy Green over here.
That's a good job of considering.
Despite positioning herself as a progressive, Kamala Harris has consistently supported U.S. imperialism, particularly with her stance on Israel. How does Rye's defense of Harris reflect a broader trend in liberal politics where race-conscious rhetoric is used to justify support for imperialist policies?
Oh, man. I think that we could say that this goes back to Ralph Bunche. Ralph Bunche being used to be one of the signatories over the state of Israel in the 1940s as a black man. I mean, this goes further back than we realize, using black liberals as signatories of American imperialism. I think it gets worse in the age of neoliberalism with the rise of Barack Obama, who basically didn't see a drone he didn't like. And, you know, it definitely becomes a reality with now we have, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff being a black man. We have the U.S. representative in the United Nations being a black woman. and all of them co-signing on Israel's genocide of Palestinians. So what ends up happening is that blackness basically becomes a signatory for the worst of American imperialism, and it's used to kind of give it a patina of progressivism, because we're like, listen, what makes us better than the conservatives is that we have a diverse array of people who are willing to drop the bombs from the Death Star.
But what happens when the diversity, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is you can have a utopian fascism where your president is black and your Joint Chiefs of Staff is a trans man. Like that can exist in your utopian fascist world. It's just racial representation. At what point do we get over that?
Well, you asked me that question before Kamala Harris came to the position because we thought we were over it with Obama. And look where we are now.
Does it feel a little shocking to you guys as far as I don't really look at Occupy, and maybe I'm wrong for that, but I don't look at that as like this big time moment where everybody starts kind of thinking about socialism as a decent thing, as a good thing, as a viable strategy. To me, it's really the Bernie Sanders campaign because it's an election. A lot of people are paying attention and a lot of people are frustrated, and Obama's gone. And Obama leaving for a lot of people was an oh no moment because no one knew what to expect after that. A lot of people felt comfortable under Obama. A lot of people that watch these shows love to fucking talk about how horrible he was, and he was. We talk about how horrible he is. But we can't lie and say that the country as a whole, especially in liberal circles, felt very comfortable with Barack Obama in office. And Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump really shake things up politically in a way that I've never seen in my lifetime. Being on such polar opposites ends of a spectrum. Over the last 8 years, we've seen a lot more people kind of embrace socialist ideals. For a time, we saw the growth of the DSA. But it feels like nothing's changed and we're back to the 90s, especially with the way we look at even crime. Like Cuba always jokes about DC, it's always 1996 for these people. Are they right then to be stuck in 1996? Because we haven't really progressed beyond this viewpoint from a foreign policy standpoint, and now even domestically. Toussaint?
I don't know. I think we have to make sure to consider that even though all of these new great things were happening and people were getting opened up to the left and leftist ideas and socialism, that there was a counteraction. There was opposition, and the opposition has been pretty successful. I know the Black community has been a battleground for that for a while, where a lot of the young people were adopting leftist ideas and liking Bernie Sanders, but a lot of the older people were much more conservative. I know the Democratic Party is definitely entrenched in the Black community, and they're definitely devoted to capitalism and to things not changing.
Brother Robert?
I think it's a very good point. That the degree of counter-revolutionary reaction to this kind of progressive moment, it was a small window. It was not a large. It was a small window from 2016 to 2020 that expanded. And I think also part of it, to be fair, is I think part of it was that the ball was dropped in the mobilizing of an actual movement by people being too much online, as opposed to organizing in spaces that were actually in the physical arena. And I also kind of blame some of Sanders himself for not. Let's put it this: Bernie did not want to seem like a spoiler for Trump, and he did not want to come to the point where he was an obstacle to the Democratic agenda because he didn't want to be seen as encouraging Trump's criticism of the Democratic Party. So after the 2016 election, he kind of took a powder, and after 2020, he took a powder. I think that I think it would have been wiser for him to mobilize his troops, his ground troops, to keep the movement alive, because now we don't have anything anymore. It's kind of empty. And I think that was a major mistake on his end.
He dismantled his organization. He
Yeah.
didn't continue it. He didn't build it. He didn't add like infrastructure to it. I mean, he could have even just kept his Slack open so we could have talked to each other.
Mhm.
But no, everything was just dismantled. The app is dead. It's still on my phone, but it's dead. And yeah, ashes, we all fell down.
Do you think stuff like that opens the door for the Angela Ryes of the world? Because another thing that Adolf really talks about in that piece is how it becomes celebrity culture. And what I find interesting is that's kind of where we are right now with all of this. Even what we do, there's tons of celebrity culture. Like there was people fighting in the chat over the different, quote unquote left celebrities that say things and they do things for this party and that party. It's like these guys don't make as much money and have as much influence as anyone thinks. It doesn't really benefit them to do any of that. It's just kind of who they are, right?
Celebrification is a good point. It's real. That's real. It's absolutely real. It's a problem.
But I think we're also in this moment where complaining about this stuff is politics, and that's it.
No solutions.
Right on, Kimosabi.
And that's the problem with black women that don't call me back.
The edges be messed up.
With that, is that how I get on all those shows, Tucson? I have to like just shit on black women's edges for just no good reason.
Don't do that. Don't ever become the arbitrary criticizer of black women, man. Don't.
Mm-mm.
You have way too many Filipino children for that.
That's true. Standing on shaky ground there.
I'm gonna be like Butch Ware in that interview. You over there standing next to that white woman. Oh wow, this is a good question. Josh Bauman asked, has the social media age defanged activism? I don't think there's a definitive answer for that. I think anyone that gives you a definitive answer for that is being very flippant.
It's a tough question.
There's still people out there doing real things in the real world. Like, don't ever think that there's not, especially in areas, in legal spaces. There's a lot of people doing stuff. In homeless spaces, there's a lot of people doing stuff. In anti-carceral spaces, there's a lot of people doing stuff. It's just when you do actual things, you're not online. So they're not constantly checking the Twitter. They're not constantly tweeting something out. And if they are, they probably don't have a certain following because there's a pattern to what gets you looked at. And if your job is, I don't know, you work for a nonprofit that's trying to defang the carceral state, you're probably not constantly tweeting about Israel, Palestine, or the debate. You're probably talking about what you do for a living, which that trend ebbs and flows. I mean, I saw a news story about something in, I can't remember the state it was. It was in Missouri, I believe. But anyway, these kids had beat up two old men. They had jumped on some cars, and two older men were like, "Hey, you guys got to stop jumping on these cars." And the kids like beat them to a pulp. It was a bunch of kids, beat the mess out of them. And what I found interesting was the solution from the city and what the citizens were calling for was police at schools. Wow. And I found that interesting because it was just 4 years ago we were celebrating the removal in a lot of cities police in schools, because it's very problematic to have police in schools. Remember, we were seeing images of that girl that got in a fight in class and the cop grabbed her and slammed her because she wouldn't listen to the cop and then cuffed her. She was probably like 12 or 13 years old. And everyone's like, we can't have police in schools. That was just 4 years ago. And now we need more cops. We need more cops in schools because these kids are just too much. I thought we had a way that I thought we finally changed this kind of overly carceral idea of that's the solution to economic strife in poor areas. We can't just arrest everybody. We can't arrest our way out of poverty. We can't arrest our way out of homeless encampments and drug addiction. These are deeper seated issues than just personal choice. But in this neoliberal realism that we all live in, it's always personal choice.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where the Angela Ryes of the world really shine, if you will, because she so embraces all of that. I mean, she's the CEO of a nonprofit.
Well, someone also made this point.
And I say, right on.
I didn't think she was by the end of the show.
I heard the audio, so I didn't see it.
Oh.
And I get her confused with that other woman that I can't stand. That's also
Amanda
very attractive.
Seals.
Yeah, tomato.
What's the other woman's name?
Amanda Seals.
Oh, Amanda Seals.
Mm. Did you see the comments on the Breakfast Club video?
What did they say?
They were like 99.95% of joining the Green Party and voting for Jill Stein. I have never seen a comment section like that before. It was also the same on the Karen Hunter video. So
really?
There was a lot of Karen Hunter hate and Jill Stein love on that video, even though she chose the most unflattering clip. Yeah, I've never seen a comment section in such overwhelming agreement. Angela Rye got the Green Party a lot of converts.
Really?
Yeah, they've been having a bit of a buzz.
What about the PSL? Why doesn't Angela Rye hate the PSL?
They're not in 40 states.
Or is it just there's 2 women of color running for president there, and you can't do that girl stuff to them?
That could be it too.
How many states is the PSL in? They're in quite a few states though, and they literally go campaign in like poor neighborhoods. You want to read that comment too, son?
The problems always affecting Black people is quote unquote racism, not the fact that the rent is so effing high and groceries cost so much. It's the white man. 3 exclamation points.
Well, the white man makes the groceries cost high, and the white man is Jill Stein.
I thought you were going to say the white man is Joe Biden.
No. Jill Stein.
America.
It's always Jill Stein.
But this is something that Angela Rye doesn't want to talk about. She doesn't want to talk about rent. She doesn't want to talk about groceries. She doesn't want to talk about healthcare. She wants to talk about you pronounce Kamala's name wrong. Damn. How dare you?
How do you get taken seriously at that point?
Yeah, she did a little neck rolling. That usually works to shut down a conversation. But they weren't having it.
Light skin girl.
Do you think Butch Ware was scared to be like, man, if you don't shut them?
He wanted to.
Is he again, was he handcuffed by Stein? And not like Stein said, okay, Butch, I can't have, like, not like that, but in the sense of I can't go off because everybody's gonna say, oh, you were here protecting that white woman while to yell at a Black woman.
He knew the politics in the room.
He did. He's familiar with it.
He seems like he did, and he seemed very upset.
Well, he channeled it. So that was good. They both handled themselves very well, considering the constant opposition. in that interview. It was very contentious.
Should we play a little bit of this Karen Hunter thing?
We'll keep it up.
It was terrible.
I just so people can see what we're talking about.
Why not?
Okay, I'll look. I'm gonna pull it up, Toussaint, and you let the people know what could possibly happen if I play this.
What could possibly happen? Okay. So if Jason plays this video, there's a possibility that we could get the show demonetized.
This episode, you're not the show. This episode.
That's right. You're right. The episode. That's a very, very good point. So we definitely don't want that to happen, but in the event that it does, we hope that you guys will show us some love and some support through super chats and your comments and your being in the chat. Send your super chats through. Send your super chat questions, comments, and observations through. If you saw the show, if you saw the Breakfast Club episode, let us know. Let us know your thoughts on it too.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got it. It's telethon time. Left a good job in the city. Welcome to the TIR Telethon. Performing with us now, we have Pascal Robert, who's going to do a lovely rendition of You'll Never Find.
In all the world, someone who cares about you like I do.
If you enjoy the programming here on TIR, roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
Oh, shit. Karen Hunter starts her show off with a montage of colored folks wearing her merchandise.
She does. I was super confused by that.
I was like, really? So check this out. It's so funny. Let's mute it so we don't get if this is copyrighted. Look. Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey there, light skinned guy.
It said during the show, if you want to, do you like what Karen's wearing? If you want to buy it, you can buy it here. And she's just wearing a black hoodie.
Yeah, I was like, she looks like she doesn't want to be bothered. Do you want to look like you don't want to be bothered at the grocery store too? If you want to look like every black woman at the bank. God damn it, Karen Hunter. Okay, this is Karen Hunter and her sidekick. What's the sidekick's name?
Rufus?
I don't even know.
He is. This is a Rufus ass nigga right here, man. This is the most Rufus-fied Rufus nigga I've ever seen in my life. Man.
Is that his name?
I don't know, but that's Rod. Rufus Rod.
Rod. Real quick, we have a super chat. New Yank. Feck Karen Hunter. I hate listening to her on my smoke break. I am not a well person.
If you listen to Karen Hunter and you're not my mom, you are not a well person. My mom listens to Karen Hunter, and one day I was like, what do you listen to? She was like, Karen Hunter. I was like, why? Because she tells the truth. My mom was wearing a shirt that said socialist on it at the time. I just want you to know that. Oh, the contradictions. Okay, here we go, Karen. Also, too, look at her mouth.
Yeah.
Karen, your mouth looks like you are just anything that's going to come out of it is just going to be the meanest shit ever. That's why Rod's over here looking frightened.
Yeah. Democrats, yes. I think it's
Sorry. Rewind this a little bit.
I think it's very dangerous rhetoric to say there are two sides of the same coin. I do think it's important for us to
dangerous
understand.
To the Democrats, yes.
I think it's dangerous to all of us, actually. Yeah, I don't have the privilege.
We disagree.
I understand. We do on a lot, but we also agree on a lot. But here's one thing I think we can agree on. Either you win or lose this election. There's really no in between. Dr. Stein, 2000.
That's how all elections work. I mean, last I checked, that's how all elections worked. There was no class president that was like really close. Oh, you were really close. We're going to give you a seat at the student government table.
I think she was trying to go against their point where they were saying even if they don't win, they still win stuff, and that it's still going to be good for the people who voted for them and for the Green Party.
Get Good with Money. That is the book behind her. You know how people in left circles love critiquing your bookcase? Karen Hunter's bookcase. She's got a Get Good with Money is showing. Oh my God.
2002, you ran for governor of Massachusetts and you lost. In 2004, you ran for state representative in Massachusetts and you lost. In 2006, you ran for secretary of the Commonwealth. You also lost. In 2010, you ran for governor again, this time against the first Black governor in Massachusetts, Deval Patrick. You lost. In 2012, you ran against this country's first Black president and you got just less than 0.5% of total votes cast. In 2016, you ran against Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, losing significantly with 1.4 million votes cast for you, but 0 electoral college votes, which I agree with y'all needs to be abolished. But 136 million people voted, and you lost that election as well. So I want to know what the pathway to victory is for you in 2024. It can't just be.
I'd like.
Can you imagine coming home late to Angela Rye?
Oh,
God damn. Can you imagine Angela Rye's kids? Oh.
A lot of these Negro liberals completely represent the interaction on the Breakfast Club.
What did you say it again, Pascal? I didn't hear you.
Almost said a lot of these Negro liberals misrepresent the interaction on the Breakfast Club. I was just reading the question.
Like when you hear her say that, Pascal, what's the first thing you think?
She's a pit bull from higher.
Let me ask you about that. Do you think she was deliberately like set up to be that person for the
Of course.
Like, they were outsourcing it to her.
She's not outsourced. She works for the team. She works for the Democratic Party.
She's the black congressional caucus. What's it called again? Black
Congressional Black Caucus.
That's what I said.
Carcass.
Corrective Negroes trying to mess with me. That is a Rufus ass nigga though.
Yeah, he's very Stanley Crouch.
Damn. Sans the ashy lips.
Yes, I'll give him that. That's all I'll give him.
I would like to respond. Yeah. This is the framing of the empire and the oligarchy and white supremacy and colonialism, which wants you to feel that resistance.
Oh my God! Like really?
Look at Karen. When she said white supremacy, she's like, "Bitch, what?" Her edges frayed.
They reverted.
If you go to any black liberal woman and say that, you will fray their edges and you will also incur their wrath. So be prepared for both things.
This is futile. This is about voter blaming and voter shaming.
Let me just no. Wait,
I also love the fact that Angela Rye gets to like rattle off all this bullshit, and then when you want to respond, it's like, no, you can't respond. I'm not done yet. Yeah, you are.
Black woman, you have to respect her.
They make it racist to argue. Make it racist to argue with black women and then make the spokesman of a black woman can't lose.
It is. It's a shield. It is a shield. There's a lot of people that have these shields and they love wearing these shields. And it's going to start to become a lot more difficult. There's a reason why people don't want Trump in office, especially liberals. And it's the loss of the racial shield. Because they're going to start bringing up their own people. Trump tried, and he's just really bad at it.
Yeah.
He's really bad at it. He had Omarosa. Omarosa's pretty fucking black. She can do all the She's not Condoleezza Rice. Someone made a comment about Condoleezza Rice not getting the same protection as Kamala Harris. And it's like, you got to remember who Condoleezza Rice was. And a lot of people did like Condoleezza Rice, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Condoleezza Rice and Clarence Thomas are two black people at the time. They got a lot of respect in the black community.
Colin Powell.
Colin, thank you. Stop with the I'm looking at the world through a now lens and I'm totally disregarding what was going on at the time. Stop.
Presentism.
What was that big word, Adolph Reed?
Presentism. Now I'm canceled.
We niggas.
We don't be at work.
We don't be at work. White man, tell me how I talk again. It's really frustrating too that only time we can have this conversation is during fucking election year. It's not like these people are quiet throughout the year. They're campaigning for things. And they're generally campaigning to keep a certain position in power and to keep a certain narrative alive. And that has to be the truth. Cedric Johnson came on here, and I think a lot of people missed the importance of this statement when he said, I'm not on doctoral committees because of what I write. When you go against that orthodoxy, you're a problem. There's not a lot of people in academia that talk like this. There really isn't.
No, they're not.
It's just so easy to say, well, it's white supremacy and wash your hands of it. The GOP is trying to build a cadre of people of color. And liberals really dismiss that. They're whitewashed. What? And?
Right.
What does that mean? It means if you're not doing the fucking Watusi, you can't take a politician seriously.
Watusi.
Watusi your ass back to Mother Africa.
If you're not doing the Watusi.
The Watusi was a very popular dance in the 60s.
Is that right?
Lemonade was a popular drink and it still is. Somebody said I almost thought Karen Hunter was a guest. First of all, I don't hate myself that much. And number two, if I was that big enough to have Karen Hunter on this show, she would have left a long time ago cursing.
That's right.
But here, I'll shut up.
I'm not going to say is that I'm ever parodying anything at the hands of white supremacy. This is something that's very different. This is me asking you again. It's a binary
I'm
choice
just
in an
pointing
election.
out that these
It's
are the
either a
talking
win or a
points.
lie. No, it's
These
not
are
a
the
talking
same
point.
talking points.
That's not a talking point. I was talking and I'm pointing, but it wasn't a talking point. Dumb white bitch. Do you think Butch Ware was he sitting there just like, oh, this bitch? Like, these niggas, I trying to tell you, Jill. Like trying to keep that spot, trying to tell you, Jill, these don't trust them new niggas.
He seemed ready.
He wasn't ready.
They expected him.
At that point, do you just throw a drink on her like it's a reality show?
Wicked Witch of the West or something? She's gonna shrink.
Well, that's how like every reality show with a black woman post 2003. If you don't get a drink thrown on you, then it's really a reality show.
Oh boy.
You know, you have to have lunch with your friend that you hate and talk about why you guys are not friends but friends. Like, didn't you bitches just meet like 2 weeks ago? Why are you having these deep discussions? And you got to throw a drink on her. So is that the, like, remember how Riley said you throw the chair?
Right.
So can you just throw a drink if that happens? Can you just and then the whole thing is you can get out of there unscathed?
Throw the whole continental breakfast.
Ooh. Oof. With the drink, you can miss the hair and hit the shirt. Throw the whole continental breakfast, you hit the hair. You have to be ready for a certain amount of wrath. I don't know if I'm prepared for that.
No, I didn't get my talking.
uses.
This is not DNC talking points. This is my research. And sadly for you, the research says you have never won an election. You have been successful in pushing forward certain agendas as an advocate, but you have never won an election.
Is it just me or Pascal? Are you getting PTSD from this too?
Oh, I'm kind of like, let's move on, man. There's too much Angela Rye.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
One party strategy.
So, in order to win, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and in this case, it's many steps. Let me point out.
Yes. Thank you. Let me just publicly thank Angela Rye.
Yeah. Here we go.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you interview somebody. This is how you hold their feet to the fire. I don't think she was being
fire for what? Running for president? Let me tell you something. Feet to the fire for what? Running for president? What is Jill Stein doing? Robbing a bank?
That's my favorite terminology. We have to hold these people's feet to the fire. Like what? Hey, what kind of crazy torture are you doing over there, homeboy? How are you holding this feet to fire rhetorically? Explain to me your fire feeding.
These Negroes are all sorts in the tank for the Democrats, man. It's ridiculous.
Plus, the Breakfast Club has a terrible format for debate. You don't need that many hosts. Butch Ware had to look both ways when spoken to Angela and RBF. Who's RBF?
Resting bitch face. Angela had resting bitch face.
Oh, she had resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Is that racist to say?
I don't know if I would have said it. I would have hoped that you would have known what it meant if he just said RBF, which is way classier way to go about it. But I would never. I don't think I've never said that. I've never said. Yeah. I don't usually say that either.
No, you've never heard me say. You've never heard me say like, "Oh, someone's got resting bitch face." Like I don't even feel comfortable like saying. That's the only way you can say it. You have to say it all sassy.
I'm a New Yorker. We all have
spicy, zesty, spicy.
You have to be like, "Oh, who's got?" Yeah, you got to. There's who says that like naturally. Yeah. I would never say that. Oh, that person doesn't look like they want to be bothered. I'm just moving.
Spicy, zesty.
It's
spicy, zesty.
Spicy. I thought we were beyond that, guys. I'm still getting teased by that outfit that I wore last week. Toussaint shit on me for that outfit, Pascal, by the way.
What was it? A leather suit?
What was the outfit from Delirious?
I've never felt so bad when Toussaint goes, maybe the jacket, maybe the hat, maybe the kerchief, but all together. She goes, no. She goes, no.
You are doing the most. You're doing the absolute most.
Ask people questions. Why are you running? Why are you doing this? You have never won anything. You've never won anything. You show up every 4 years and you don't win. And you don't, there's no AOC. We played the AOC clip where she said, if you're really building a party, then we're the down ballot candidates. Yep. She was on there. The male voice that you heard was Dr. Butch Ware, who is running with Jill Stein, Dr. Jill Stein. And it feels very grifty, especially when you see the images of Jill Stein with Putin and Mike Flynn. And
how many years ago was that? Like 10, 15 years ago or something? She was at that like dinner in Russia. Putin was there.
Oh, yeah. That was a long time ago.
It wasn't like her and Putin had prom photos.
Yo, they really... they were just at the same table, man. What can you do?
It was like Putin and Jill Stein went to Sears.
Picking out pillows.
What would you think? Jill Stein and Putin are like the end of Dirty Dancing.
Oh, man.
Putin's just holding her up and she finally nails the landing.
There you go.
I had time of my life. Like, you can't sit next to anybody forever. That's what you over there next to Putin. Like, damn, dude. I mean, do you think she's a Russian asset, Pascal?
No. You can't take these Negroes seriously, man.
Someone said this dude looks like if me and Pascal had a baby. First of all, that'd be impossible.
You want to know? She wants to talk about the oligarch. You were with them,
right?
You want to talk about white supremacy? There were no black people at that table.
Wasn't it in Russia? Yeah. Why do you need black representation in Russia? Mr. Putin! Mr. Putin! What do you mean you can't understand me?
You can't understand me.
I understand there's 15 black people living in your country. But why is there none represented in government? That's the argument you want to have, Professor Hunter? Interesting. There's no black people at the table. Like, do white people have to carry a black person around with them for Karen Hunter to be happy all the time? Because white people did that at one point in time, and we didn't like it.
No. This is my pet Negro.
It really feels like she needs that. Or does she want to be someone's pet Negro? Ooh. Ooh.
We coming for you, nigga.
Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we
That we saw. And the only people that will hurt and suffer the most in this country, in this election, if Trump wins again, will be black people. Whether we're talking about police,
come on, really?
Getting immunity to do more of what they've been doing, and then not having.
I didn't know Trump just hands out immunity like that.
The only people who will suffer.
Because last I checked, it was a bunch of Muslims and people from Latin America that really suffered a lot. Like, really bad. Visually suffered. But apparently, in the suffrage Olympics, it's the tears of black people that get pulled over every so often that is really the problem with Trump. Yeah, thanks, Space Proletariat. With Baker Mayfield avatar. That's very brave of you. That's the most brave avatar I've seen on social media in this realm. That's a very brave avatar. And I mean that very literally. Will you have that? Buccaneers don't make the playoffs. But seriously, Pascal, what's the first thing you think when she says that? Donald Trump wins, black people are the only ones that are going to suffer because police.
It just demonstrates the whole race reductionist nature of the myopic way we look at these elections, man. It's just like, oh, it's only black people are going to suffer. Really? Immigrants are not going to suffer? Poor working class people are not going to suffer?
No, just black ones. The race reductionist crack.
Be surprised how many people love the crack.
Right?
In particular, black professors.
Having any recourse, there will be no Derek Chauvin's going to jail in another Trump administration.
The fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
We have a super chat. My eyes have rolled so far back. So far, in the back of my head, it's going to take a team of surgeons to pull them back forward. This is aggravating. Thank you, Arthur.
I want to address this question. What black people respected Condoleezza Rice and Clarence Thomas? All of them. Every now and then when it seemed they were being unfairly targeted for being black. I don't understand that. Are they saying that black people didn't respect them? What are they saying? Help me understand.
I don't know. They were
You
successes.
speak Chattanese.
They were successes, though. They were
Massive.
examples of black excellence.
Yeah. Condoleezza Rice has I think if she's not part of the ownership team, she's got some high up position with the Denver Broncos right now. I think she's from Colorado. Yeah, it hurts my soul, but
See, she's from like Alabama.
she went to school in Denver or something, right?
Where the 5 little girls were blown up in the church, the 4 little girls.
Yeah.
She grew up with them. She used to play with them. No kidding. Yeah.
Didn't Angela Davis grow up with them too?
Yeah, she did.
Interesting neighborhood, right? Oof.
I like this comment.
What's that?
MT is right. Trump is going to drum Africana studies from the university.
There's a move that's far beyond him to hey, we're going to stop teaching black history. We're going to stop teaching slavery. And I think in a lot of places, especially in coastal cities, big cities, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, it's probably hits more home for Pascal, New York, of course, because when these governors say we're going to take this out of the curriculum, we're going to remove this stuff from the history books. That's not just in Florida. They buy so many, like Texas, they buy so many books that the neighboring states that don't have the budgets get Texas's books.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why we talk about a dumbing down of America. It's not just because motherfuckers are on their phone. It's when these states pass these sweeping reforms, it affects so many other places. It's quite troubling. This isn't a direct effect of Donald Trump because this has been going on far before he was in office. This was going on when he was still a Democrat and didn't care. He doesn't care about shit like this. He really doesn't. That's not part of his agenda. If he even has an agenda. I think his agenda is just winning. So Karen Hunter is literally just making shit up. She's creating a villain. And again, Donald Trump is a horrible person, but she's creating a villain that just isn't real. Last I checked, Trayvon Martin happened under Barack Obama's watch with Eric Holder.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of black people in office when that went down. It didn't stop anything from happening, and it didn't stop any punishment that you may have wanted for what was the guy's name that shot Trayvon Martin? Let's not remember his name for a second.
Zimmerman?
Sure, and you did it anyway. It's like a Jeopardy question for you. But it's not like you just have black people in office and then all black people's woes go away. That's never happened from any position in government. So I don't know why this woman just assumes that Kamala Harris is going to save her and black people in general from punishment under law enforcement. If I drive across the imaginary line that is the U.S.-Mexico border with my expired tags and the cops pull me over and want to fuck with me, Karen Hunter is not going to defend me. She's not going to care. I've never heard these people talk about the financial handcuffs someone is put in if their vehicle is stolen. Have you guys ever had a car stolen?
No.
2 New Yorkers that can't drive. When your car is, especially in a place like California, if your car is stolen, by the time you find out your car is found, the police tell you where impound lot to go get it at. You got to pay storage fees and towing fees for your stolen vehicle if you want to get it back. If you don't have any money, they're just going to sell your shit at auction. That's fucked up. There's nothing you can do about it. That's a reality for so many people. We talked the other night about welfare reform and how it forced so many, a lot of black women, into taking crap jobs because they had to keep their benefits, and jobs that were far from home that forced them to have cars. And it's not just your car getting stolen. Sometimes you can't afford the insurance and the registration. That's a problem that I fight with constantly. And now you have expired tags. You can just park your car and it get towed. The same thing. By the time you find out where it is, you've racked up maybe a week to 3 to 4 days of storage fees and towing fees. It may cost you more than the car is worth to get it out of hock. That's a real reality that has nothing to do with Donald Trump. And it affects more people that I know personally that look like me than anything this goofy chick is saying. And I never hear people talk about shit like that on these shows because it's never a problem.
Not for her.
Not for her. That's a real fucking problem for tons of people. So don't tell me about the magical, evil fucking cops in your Jordan Peele fantasy of what America looks like. Sorry.
One of the things that's important to understand here is that there's a certain kind of class element to aversion to Donald Trump. These middle-class Negroes are worried about the DEI jobs that lifted them out of the poor working class in the post-civil rights era and the affirmative action that they got benefited from in the post-civil rights era as well, and how the racial retrenchment that's happening in the era of the rise of Trump is putting that stuff on the back burner. So there's a class nature to this paranoia about Trump that really doesn't have anything to do with poor and working class people. No. And it's actually demonstrated by the way in which it's really black people of a certain level of status and level of age that are the ones who are most virulently worried about Trump, while younger working class black folk of a certain class are more like, well, let's see what he can do. I'm not saying that the answer to the question. What I'm saying is that this kind of civil rights laden paranoia is always something that's done by people, used by people of a certain class and a certain generation.
And let's not even talk about, health care and Social Security and all of the social programs like Head Start that will be going away. I personally know black children who's, thank you, Adam Clayton Powell, for pushing that through, who started in Head Start from inner city places and went on to become something because they got a head start. It's valuable.
Yeah, and what's interesting too with their platform, with the Green Party, it's whatever you can bang on Democrats on that year. So it's not even a consistent platform. She doesn't even have a consistent VP. Like that changes every time she want to run. Here come a new person we never heard of. Oh, this the new person that we running together. What are their platforms? What are they? They're never really doing outreach. They're never trying to gain voters. They pass zero legislation. It's a damn joke. And at the end of the day, the only person making money off of it is her. I still remember when Clinton lost, the Green Party raised all that money talking about they're gonna get some recounts. What a money, sis?
No,
what happened to that?
That was, yes. I think that was not Clinton. Yeah, we actually interviewed her then.
Because Trump beat Hillary, right?
It was, yeah. Smith's from that interview. We might need to play it, as part of our, 10-year anniversary.
I'm pretty sure it was Hillary because Trump beat Hillary and then everyone kept saying, well, it came down to 55,000 votes or whatever the number was. Right. and it's just in these 3 states. And she was like, well, I'm gonna raise the money to do the recount. First
Yes,
of all,
she did.
why would you? Why would you? You didn't want her to win. So that don't even make sense, sis. But now all of a sudden the Green Party is a county of accountability. They're gonna get the vote counts right. They're gonna figure it out. All they need is just a little more bread. Just a little more bread. You know who else did that? In 2020, Trump did that. When he lost, he was, oh, we just need some bread. Once we get the money, then the recounts, then see yada yada yada, I'm president. And at the end of the day, it's just a grift.
She read.
Also, I really hate the word grift, by the way. Fucking hate it. Everyone that says it, they don't know what a fucking con is if it bit him in the fucking face. Trump, con man, sure. Yes, he is a real deal piece of shit con man. But once people found that word, it was like, oh, 2 words I'd never want to hear people say is bro and grift.
Bro.
Can't stand it, man.
Like the debate bros,
just anything bro. Like that was
bro.
Like why everybody talks like Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Bro.
Holy
bro, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you talking to me like that? Don't talk like why? Stop.
Spicoli.
I just want to mention that she said that the dude said every time Jill Stein comes out, she's got a new VP. But as someone pointed out in the chat, people change VPs all the time. Certainly Trump did.
He's just saying words.
Absolutely.
He sounds a little zesty too.
What'd you say?
He sounds a little zesty too.
I can't place the accent. He could very well be from DC. He could be from the LA.
Raised $7.3 million in 2016. $7.3 million on the recount.
Right.
Where did the money go?
Where the money? Where's the money? I see you in fur coats.
Wow.
Where's the damn money?
I see you in fur coats.
I haven't seen Jill Stein anything but t-shirts and jeans. What fur coats?
That's a fact. I think this is such a weird angle for them to take.
I don't even understand where show me the picture of Jill. Where's the money? Do you think a recount is free?
Exactly.
How do you think this stuff happens?
They also said recounts are done by the government. You don't have to pay for them. So what did you do with the money?
Apparently she bought all those fur coats. Because, you know, when I think Green Party and Jill Stein, I definitely think fur coat and leather pants.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Like, you can just say shit on the internet.
And at the end of the day, who are you to recount anything? We actually have election security that does that. There are actually government parties that do that job. What are you talking about?
Well, Angela Rye was not the one, and I appreciate it. Again, she held her feet to the fire. Let's play a clip.
Yo, listen. Let's move on. So,
I'm serious. Dude. Sean Moon said that extravagant Green Party lifestyle. I mean, there's a lot of people in left circles that just call them rich liberals. Rich radical liberals. I've heard that before.
Radical liberals. Because she's a doctor?
She's a doctor.
She's a doctor, honey.
This is why I was so mad at Toussaint. I was like, dude, you did this.
I did this. I chose this topic.
You did this. You fucking did this. And then like, oh, she held the feet to the fire. So basically, just trying to scold someone means you did something. It's not like Jill Stein stopped running. So what the fuck did she do? Like, seriously, what did she do?
They
She
would have
has-
never interviewed anyone else in that way.
You know what's fucked up about this shit? There's people that love to go on those shows, not to really do anything substantive, but just to be able to have a clip that they can share for their show.
Mhm.
That's the only reason why you do it.
Right.
You're not trying to change minds. You're trying to sway voters. Your objective, and it might be subconscious to a certain point, is to create content for whatever it is you do, so you can have your slow clap moments on your own channel. Can we hashtag blame Toussaint?
One.
So I think it's not fair, and it is the talking point of AOC the other day, who is taking her marching orders from the DNC. This is exactly what they say, that we are only running for president.
Of color as parroting talking points instead of us looking at basic math. The one that AOC has.
Oh, yeah, women of color don't parrot talking points. Give me a break.
They're the best ones.
You're a woman of color parroting time. It's like Rod's a comedian?
Wow.
No way.
He's not funny.
No way.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
That's how I feel about you knowing that, Donnell. You shouldn't know that, Donnell. Pascal is getting sick. Someone said Pascal is getting sick. Pascal's gonna have a Fred Sanford moment pretty soon. You're gonna have the big one.
It's the big one.
Has done that you haven't is win some elections.
Answer that.
They're so used to being unchecked, playing in people's faces.
Yeah.
Again, Angela Rye is an independent operator. You know what I'm saying? She's
Yep.
No,
Independent. She about as independent as a 42nd Street walking up. Anyway.
Jesus.
Oh.
Look, man, you are not allowed to have a protein shake in the morning. That shit is unacceptable. Oh my God. That was also very funny. Oh my God. Again, so all you need is just try to scold somebody. You don't even need to be right. You don't even need to be right. You just have to scold somebody.
It's a very Democratic Party thing.
Why'd you fail algebra in the 12th grade? You're a failure. From a failure-ass family. You know your mom ain't shit, too. That's why your daddy left.
Which is why I'm glad it happened on the platform that it did happen on, only because this is a platform that has typically let her come up there unchallenged, with Leonard just sitting there being like, because both parties is bad and mostly Democrats, right? And then there's no sophisticated challenge. There's no questioning. There's no detail. There's no asking for policy. How are you going to do these things? It's just, we're going to bang on Democrats for the next 2-3 hours. The clips will go viral, and then you can leave out of here. So you brought this food to our purview. So I'm glad Angela Rye was there to be like, well, nah, here are.
I often think that sometimes when I see debates, I'm like, man, I wish Angela Rye was there to, speak truth to power.
It wasn't supposed to be a debate. That's the thing.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
Some questions, and keep in mind, she wasn't really banging on her. She was just saying, answer these questions. The woman couldn't answer simple questions. I don't know if you had that other clip.
Oh, it got worse. It got worse for her.
Yes.
But
And
waiting
this
is
should
first.
disqualify her. Just like Trump
Yes.
should be disqualified before the cats and dogs. He should have been disqualified at Charlottesville.
Yes.
He should have been
Disqualified? Like it's a fucking father-son the three-legged race or some shit. Disqualification.
He's 4 legs.
What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus. What kind of PTA bullshit are you running, lady? My goodness. Professor Hunter, what do you profess? Huh?
Her name is
Disqualified.
Karen.
Look, told you.
She likes the rules
Don't do
and the
that Karen shit.
manager.
Because that shit is, it is the first quote unquote Karen I met was my mom, Pam Davis. She's the most difficult person in a public setting.
Charlottesville, and then January 6th. She's not even been eligible to run again. But Angela Rye, again, this is what you do when you get the opportunity to sit and talk with people. Do your homework and then ask the questions. Play clip 2.
I've worked on Capitol Hill. It's very difficult to get what you're trying to achieve. So just for example,
Jill can talk about what you can do just from the executive
Dr.
office.
Ware.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Nigga, please. Thank you. Please, Mr. Nigga with the white bitch, please. Thank you. Black woman is speaking. Ayo.
How about light skin privilege? Just what that
Light skin. I told you my daughter told me she didn't have light skin privilege. I said, nigga, what are you talking about?
Your daughter said that she didn't have it?
She said something about her light skin privilege one day. Some people got mad about her light skin privilege. And I just kind of stared at her because I had no idea what she was talking about. And it really fucked my head up. And then it just made me feel like a failure as a father. my kid was saying these things. I think something happened. I think some girls were being real rude to her. And she is light.
No,
it's adorable.
All that Filipino.
You know, I get scared sometimes. I'm like, ooh. I tried to warn her as a kid. You may get fucked with. She's tough. She's very tough. She can fight.
Yeah.
What's funny is that's what she never says.
Why didn't you make me darker, Daddy?
No.
You don't love me.
Just for an example, I'd love to know how many voting members in the United States House of Representatives?
So we have been blocked.
Shit like this is the dumb. Don't give me trivia questions.
Exactly.
The fuck kind of bullshit. I was so mad. I'd be like, fuck are you talking about? Are you talking trivia right now? You really fucking talking trivia?
I was really upset by that. How many members in the House of
532?
It's 435. According to Angela Rye.
Yeah. Instead of the bluest eye, it's the nappiest hair. Oh my God. Seriously. Did you just try to try? Look, if someone is trying to tell you a trivia question, Jill Stein, future reference, don't answer it. Just say, I don't answer trivia. Sorry.
Right. There's too many serious things going on right now.
That's what you
need
said.
to answer trivia questions.
Yeah. This isn't a fucking bar, and we're not going to win the pot of $58 tonight, okay? So go fuck yourself. If you don't have a serious question to ask me. If you're going to sit here and ask me fucking who was the 23rd president's vice president's sister, you can go fuck yourself. Her name was Heather.
He said name all the presidents.
Yeah. Fucking asking me dumbass questions like, what's the capital of fucking New Hampshire?
Just say Montpelier. It's the capital of all those states up there.
The Democrats throw us off the ballot.
Members,
They interfere. They put spies and infiltrators on our campaign.
How many voting members?
Compare
Republican-
us.
No. Answer the question. How many voting members in the United States House of Representatives, Republican, Democrat, and Independent? How many total?
How many total
Yes.
are there? What is it? 600 some?
No,
You know,
it's 435.
She didn't know that question.
This is such chuckleberry nonsense, man.
Chuckleberry, you nigga, you was on a. You call that Mitch Chuckleberry? I've never heard. Did you just make that up right now?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Tucson, I've never heard Chuckleberry before.
Mm-mm.
And mixing Chuckleberry with nonsense for me personally, something I want to throw into the old lexicon.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. This is some old Chuckleberry nonsense. What are you talking about? Dr. Stein. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would?
How many congressmen go on Grindr? Wow.
Chuckleberries grow in Arkansas. Oh You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna remember that Chuckleberry shit and just be laughing in public like a special person. Damn, I spit my coffee out. Y'all gotta chill with the jokes.
Chuckleberry.
That's some Chuckleberry nonsense. That's one of those things you can't say when you're young, but you hit a certain age, you can just make up good ass halfway curse words like that. You can yell at somebody. Pascal is on one today, and I'm here for it. Me too, Arthur Henry. Grinder is great, but it's such a sausage. Oh my god. Hey, wait, is it racist if I say it? What if Chuckleberry just becomes code for N-word for us?
Damn.
Like we go on like bigger shows, like we finally make it and we get on some like MSNBC shit. Like we've had enough of this Chuckleberry nonsense from these Chuckleberries and
We coming for you, Chuckleberry.
Chuckleberry nonsense.
Plus 100 in the Senate, right?
100. Yes, I said House of Representatives.
Right.
This is crazy.
You're not serious, sis. You're not a serious person. This is the funny multiverse because that's not a serious candidate. Even a serious op that was trying to just be disruptive should know basic numbers like that to be like, all right, well, look, they're gonna probably try to test me, and I want to make sure Putin.
She didn't go on there to do her SATs. This isn't Jeopardy. I challenge any of these Chuckleberries to ask anyone in office some of these random trivia questions. This is the kind of goofy shit that libs love to do to like conservatives, to have their slow clap moment.
Yeah.
That does nothing for anyone but their fucking fans.
Yep.
I fucking hate that shit. Oh, Ben Shapiro. You were wrong. It was 48. So we're going to cut the clip of you telling me I was wrong, and we're going to make fun of you and your lib friends for the next fucking 6 months. after you have your slow clap fucking moment.
Get his money worth. So I want to know stuff like this. How many branches of government?
Yeah. What are
like
each
12?
what are each responsible for? Yeah, like should know those things.
Look, he Googled it. How many is in there? I'm not exactly sure. Don't use that Google AI, Negro, because it's really gonna have you saying even more goofy shit. 17 branches of government. She don't even know about all 55.
She's got a medical degree. She graduated magna cum laude from Harvard. She's not dumb. She's just ignorant.
Right.
There's a difference, right?
Well, you know what else it is? When you have gotten by on just the angst of other people and been unchallenged, you're not ready.
Who do they think this woman's been fucking talking to and doing for the last, I don't know, 10 years? Like, seriously. Like, who do they, what show? Do you think they think she's going on Saturday Night Live every time she does a fucking appearance? Like, seriously. I don't understand why they think Angela Rye is like She-Ra or some shit.
Angela Rye is a joke, man.
Did you know Angela Rye is also a fellow podcaster?
Hey, Angela Rye. I am a black man that has mixed children. So you can definitely try to say something about that. As light as you are, I feel very comfortable that you shouldn't, but you could if you really wanted to. Let's have a conversation, Angela Rye. Not a debate. Let's have a conversation. You could do all the girl shit you want to. You can neck roll. I will figure out. I'll sell a kidney if I have to fly wherever you are. And we can have a conversation because I don't want to do it virtually. We can look at each other face to face. And you can try to talk to me like you did those people. Please. One podcaster to another. Be brave. Be brave, Angela Rye. So I called it out. Let's see if Angela Rye responds.
You're not ready for a challenge because she typically goes up there and people just express their angst towards just the Democratic Party. And so she got an easy job. We all could do that with no research. It's just, hey man, these Democrats, right? Y'all got to give me some money so I could be the one. I'll fix this thing right on up. What? Well, what's your policies? What y'all into? That's what I'm.
What y'all into?
Surprised how many people love the crack.
He's funny.
But not for the reasons he thinks.
That's what's funny to me. That's really bad. The Green New Deal comes from somewhere. Chuckleberry.
What y'all into?
What's fucked up though is this is like a person's worldview. A lot of regardless of your political affiliation, most people cover a wide spectrum of beliefs. When I say I lived with a conservative Christian family, most people probably think they were super racist and they referred to Jesus as Father God.
Father God.
And they didn't season the food and all these other weird stereotypes. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. There's a spectrum most people are on. A lot more people are conservative. So many more people are conservative than people think. And they may feel they're a Democrat or Republican or whatever they want, an independent. God, geez, so many people. If you say you're independent, you're probably a hardcore conservative.
Mm.
But seriously, these things kind of run the gamut. And I think a lot of people do feel like this cat. Like there's a simple way to see the world. And I see the world through the lens of everybody's a con man and everything is laid out. And it's just a game. And I have to figure out how to play the game. And I already figured out how they played it. Jill Stein is just one of these con men. Her Harvard degree is just hogwash. She never faces a challenge, even though she's part of a third party in a country that has a very strong two-party duopoly. And in a country that doesn't allow third parties on the debate stages anymore in a national sense. So she just goes on these shows a la The Breakfast Club and just gets to say what she wants to say. What? The fuck are you talking about? Like, how many shows has Jill Stein been on? I don't know. Like, I'm asking this seriously.
I think
she's never going to get on the View.
They don't know who they are.
Mm.
I think that's true.
It's insane. It's fucking insane. This is the most conservative little show I've seen. And I'm sure they would not think of themselves as conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're mad at a third party, I would have to ask, well, why are you mad? Like, what did they do to you? Show me where Jill Stein didn't let you sit at the lunch counter. Show me show me Karen Hunter where Jill Stein stopped that. If you don't know what the party platform is about, then just say you don't know. But it took me I think, because my internet was running a little slow at the time, 10 seconds to type Jill Stein 2024 into a Google search, and then the Jill Stein party platform comes up on the homepage. And if you want more in depth on what they're trying to do, you can see that. Now, you don't have to agree with it. You can think it's all pie in the sky bull. That's fine.
But they called it a wish list. Angela Rye called it a wish list.
Shouldn't we want things?
Yeah.
But that goes back to what Pascal says. There's a hey, we just want to keep things the way they are. My name is Angela Rye. I have a great nonprofit impact fund. I live a very cushy life. I don't have to practice law anymore. And I can just scold white people for literally just being white. And as long as the Green Party keeps producing white liberal candidates, I will always have someone I can scold. And they keep having a radical black second. I can just talk about that for a month and a half. And I'll never have to acknowledge PSL or any other third party. We're just going to just bang, as the chubby jester says. I just have to bang on you people. And I can, keep a job. I can make appearances and get crazy appearance fees. I can write a book that Oprah will say you have to have, and people will buy it and no one will read it, and that doesn't matter because they bought it anyway. But because I have the book now, I can charge even more for the appearance fees and commencement speeches. Position that into a media job that can get me a contract that could pay high 6, most likely 7 figures. That's who Angela Rye is.
I'm gonna do whatever you want today.
Reparations.
Yeah, reparations. Easy. Yeah, I can do that in 2-3 minutes. Just as soon as I get in there. And it's such an easy day. And then someone finally just went up there and was like, how? And it was like, oh shit, no one's ever asked that. That's a good question. You must be working for the Democratic Party with all these
questions. It was like Trump. They set me up with checking me. We have that clip where he said he was fact checked. I said, listen, so they're not supposed to.
This was incredible. I mean, everything, so many things I said were debunked, totally debunked, like Charlottesville. I have a list of 7 different things, and she could say anything she wanted. Everything, every time I spoke, and my stuff was right, they'd correct you.
Right. That's what happened. We all saw it. It was like, man, Trump is right. I don't know why they keep stopping to correct him about the eating cats and dogs in Springfield. And they didn't even correct him that many times. They would have never got the show done.
Let me tell you, Lindsey Davis, when he said, they kill babies out, they do kill babies outside of the womb. Uvalde, Sandy Hook, the one Marjorie Stoneman, they do. They kill babies outside of the womb, for sure. But she's like, there's no place that happens. Next question. Like, she didn't even get into the facts and things like that. That has never happened.
And it's not like he's ever gonna concede it. So if your moment, that's like some of my friends were watching the debate and they texting me and stuff, and they're like, well, she needs to say this and Kamala needs to say that. And I said, let me tell you something. You're never gonna get him to concede that he's wrong. So you just say what you stick to your message, you say your thing, and you move on. You don't got time to catch all these lies. Just hit the ones that matter and then get in his head, which she did. She was in his head.
He was so erect watching that debate.
Gross. Look at his face.
He's a little zesty though.
His hands.
God damn. Someone said these chuckleberries are kikiing.
Yes, they are.
Kiki Kaka, what's that? Kiki Kaka?
Real quick, we have a super chat from DC Joe Black. Pascal, my Dr. Kappa cousin, elder, agreed with Rye and told all of us yesterday to ignore Jill and death and vote for KH. Fam agreed. I'm done.
Damn. Now, can you say that like one of those Jamaican dancehall rappers?
Go get Marcus to do that. To get some ethnic diversity on this show.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Real quick, this person, Boscar, says Cornel West was supposed to be the candidate for the left. By the way, whatever happened to Angela? She was awesome on this show. So would you like to tell us what happened with our Angela? The better Angela?
Good Angela?
Good Angela.
Good Angela had like bad internet and Saturday was a work day for her, so she couldn't do it at the time. I talked to her a little bit months ago, but she's not really online. She caught hell when she took that position to be the Green Party VP candidate, because there is something a little true about what these guys said. They do pick people kind of, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but they're just not celebrities, right? Politics is celebrity culture, and it has been for some time now. And when you're a third party, you're probably not going to have the same celebrity cachet because these people don't have political office that they're coming out of, especially from like big cities, right? So one day nobody gives a shit about what you say on the internet, and the next day people do 1 hour hit videos on why you're a piece of shit. It's not really fun. And I think she's a wonderful woman, great mom, asset to the show, and that she just couldn't do it. It was a time thing.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with it, by the way. It wasn't like there can only be one.
You didn't Highlander her out of here?
I did not Highlander her out of here. She's great. I talked to her on Facebook. She's wonderful.
Someone said, didn't Angela run for sheriff? She did run for sheriff because, as she said on the show, it's more of a paperwork position. And there's something that we've said on this show before about leftists in certain positions, and people get real mad about it. And it's like, well, it sounds like you just want to constantly be adversarial and don't really want to ever have, young left people in like law enforcement positions, especially a management position like sheriff. I mean, imagine if you had someone like, no, I'm not going to go evict those people. I'm not going to do it. They handle a lot of shit like that.
Tiresome job.
Imagine Mark Wahlberg as the Green Party candidate. That's their dream. That is totally their dream.
I didn't do it.
Did it coincide? Did you come on right when she was leaving?
Yes.
Even if you watch the show with Norm, she had crazy internet issues the whole time. You know, I won't say where she's located, but you know, doesn't have the best service. And again, she's a truck driver. She's got a real fucking job. So, anything else before we go, Pascal?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm ready for lunch.
Let me just check the comments I've been saving.
What if Karen Hunter was in your kitchen?
Jesus, no. Stein does radical theater.
Sure.
Characterization.
Yeah.
She's like, what kind of, you say theater? Like what, Shakespeare in the Park? I mean,
Yeah. But for politics.
Shakespeare in the Park.
Kamala, oh Kamala.
Mala. Lady Braga says, after that interview, I changed my registration from independent to Green Party.
Damn.
Rock on.
Damn. Do we give her an applause for that?
Yeah, man.
Pretty cool. Kamala is losing Muslim voters. Her unwavering support for genociders is an obvious deal breaker.
Let me tell you something. The Green Party is going to be very successful in Michigan from draining votes away from Kamala Harris. She might lose Michigan because of her position on Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
What about Minneapolis, Minnesota?
Large Muslim population in Minneapolis too.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
That's Tim Walz's country, though.
Maybe that's why they got him to kind of
right.
The tide.
Yeah.
Good point.
DJ Envy is a huge capitalist. Yeah, he sucks.
Isn't he like a kind of like
scammer?
Landlord scammer type of real estate?
Didn't some news come out about him being some sort of like real estate scam? Or at least what was he doing?
He was linked up with some guy who was doing real estate scamming, and he was like selling it to the listeners.
Whoa!
He got caught up in that.
Whoa!
Fed investigation is not, if I'm mistaken, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
That's
investigation. I don't want to. Allegedly.
Angela didn't attempt to respond to any claim. She circumvented every point. She didn't respond to them. She didn't prove them wrong.
No, she didn't. She just kept making allegations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she kept calling her a loser. That's pretty fucked up.
Someone said Walsh is like a weird gym coach.
I saw that. Also, by the way, in the TI universe, KH is not Kamala Harris, it's Kurt Hammett. So anytime you write I see Kurt Hammett, so you got to say Kamala.
He's Filipino, right?
Wow.
That's what's up.
That's you today?
We support Filipinos today.
Just today?
Well, maybe not today.
Not the nurses?
We like them. We like them.
What about the nurses?
I like my children.
Yeah.
What about the nurses?
The nurses are fantastic. Someone says, we have to be honest, the Democratic Party sucks, but Jill Stein is also not great at politics.
Well, they don't have the resources.
Yeah. Someone said she shouldn't have answered that Congress question.
I agree.
It shows bad political instincts.
I think she was pissed off too.
Yes, I'd be.
I think she was pissed off. I think she was like, who the fuck is this chick?
Damn, Rye didn't say why she can't find a good man. We know why. Oh.
She hasn't come to Baja.
There you go. Those are all the comments I had.
Someone says Pinoy pride worldwide. Yeah. All my kids. Guys are dicks.
Filipinos are the Asian Haitians. That's how I like them. I do.
They're Catholic. They have a lot of nurses.
That's right. They have like as many nurses as we do.
I'm so mad you said they're Filipinos or Asian.
Not to be confused with European Asians. That's different.
That's totally different. We got to have like 15 different ways to say the N-word, so when we go on bigger shows, we could just say it. And people look at us all weird, but then people that watch the show be like, these people are ridiculous.
Chuckleberries.
These people are being some chuckleberry nonsense.
Here. Never
Raisin
forget.
salad changing lives. Look, raisin salad changes lives. Don't listen to the salad hate that comes from everybody else on this show. Carrot raisin salad and spinach pecan strawberry salad.
Ugh.
What is this nonsense?
Thank you.
That's some Chuckleberry nonsense.
That is some Chuckleberry nonsense. That's a fact.
So mad that you guys just hate the food I eat.
Something wrong with it.
Apparently something's wrong with it, Toussaint, because every show somebody calls me a chuckleberry for eating a goddamn carrot raisin salad.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with hating on your salad.
Oh, that's what you meant.
That's what I meant.
Whew. Thank you guys. We'll be back Tuesday. Who are we talking to Tuesday?
These nuts.
Wow. We're talking to Clark Randall about sports betting.
My God.
No protein shakes in the... Look, Pascal took a pre-workout. Someone said, Jason, stop misrepresenting us. We like salad that doesn't have mayo in it.
Yep.
There's some good mayo-y salads.
Yeah.
Why am I even listening to you people? You people eat hot dogs.
Ooh. Pascal, you eat hot dogs?
Not the pork.
See? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's a fucking hot dog.
Nathan's.
Gotta be
assholes.
Assholes. Or Hebrew National. Instead of tossing raisin salad. This is true. Excellent comment. You did not have a straight hand.
Glizzy. Someone called y'all glizzy gobblers. Steve said he missed the whole show. Steve, then rewind, because Pascal Robert was in the rarest form because he took pre-workout and a protein shake and decided to declare jihad on
some edges.
Jason eating white guy tacos with tuna and mayo. Ew. Sounds like vomit. No. Oh, they don't grind up mayo. See, empty, you say hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
See, hot diggity dogs.
I didn't even notice that.
Hey, it was so refreshing to have a Bay Cat on the show on Thursday.
On Thursday.
We all talk the same.
The video.
Alex Park.
Oh, Alex Park.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the guy in the champagne room that I showed you.
What video is that? Oh, the Fuquad and Raha. Reginald and fucking, what was it again?
James and Fuhad
Yeah.
of the Shits and Gigs podcast. You know, Andrew Schultz replied to them.
What did he say?
I didn't see the reply though. It just popped up on my YouTube.
Was he like sorry?
But he did reply. I didn't see it, unfortunately.
There was something. Why were we talking about Wu-Tang in that champagne room?
I don't know, man. But you came up with a new character.
I was gonna say, 'cause there's nothing to No, we created a whole new Wu-Tang character. Molly Wop, the sous chef.
Molly Wop, the sous chef. I like
it. Doesn't that sound like a Wu-Tang rapper? Like one of those third-tier Wu-Tang guys.
Somebody said, "Forget out of here." Nobody says that.
Michael Eric Dyson is literally Pog Chaser MLK. Don't you just want to like sometimes like sit it around? Like what happens when we do a live show? It's so serious.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're done, this is me. I don't know if Pascal feels the same way. You just kind of want to hang and be chill. But you did just have this serious conversation, right? So people wonder, like, Pascal, what is this? And this and this. And I want to ask you this. And I want to ask you this. And it's like, no, I want people to send comments. I want to have the conversation like half of these comments right here.
Yeah, man. This is what happens. This is what you're missing if you don't watch the Champagne Room.
This is very true. This is you get uncensored Pascal, you get Toussaint's New York accent.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot more silliness. We get mad at a lot more silly shit, like internet celebrities.
Yep.
Someone called Dr. Umar. So it says Shaheem ain't third tier. I'm not talking about Shaheem. I said Molly Wop, the sous chef.
Ridiculous.
This is the locker room after the bowl game. Thank you. Thank you.
It's what we do.
Prairie Fire says, I got here a minute ago. I'm confused. You got to rewind, PF.
Yes, you do.
You got to rewind, PF. There's so much that was covered. We were serious for a good 2/3 of the show. 1/3 of the show was Pascal making very mean remarks about edges. Be hot on edges. That first comment, is that like 10 minutes into the show, Toussaint?
I think it was with the edges.
I literally had to walk away because everything was too hot. It's too hot. Damn. Thank you guys. I think Ben will be here tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
For Tuesday, we're talking sports betting.
I'm really excited about that show.
I am too. I've been excited for like over a month about it.
Is Mau Mau next week or is it the week after?
Oh, it's supposed to be next week, but we're still working on the show.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get Karen Hunter on.
Hey.
You guys can have a debate. How possible do you think that could be to happen?
I don't know.
Bad Lefty says I've been here for an hour or so, still confused. Okay. Wait, what did you? Why didn't you tell me you did this?
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot about it. I completely forgot about it. Shout out to T in the chat. He posted that on my Facebook page and told me about this show. And I was going to make this my profile picture for a little while.
You wanted to trigger me, huh? Jesus Christ.
So mad. She slammed her laptop shut at the end of the interview.
Oh. Just Pascal, what do you think when you see that face?
Divorce court.
Just give her more than half. Just give her 2/3. Just please make it stop. Make it stop.
That's your girl.
She's a very attractive woman. Yeah, Rye's super hot.
Not anymore.
And she really is single.
I don't know. She's talking about she had a wish list for men.
What'd you say?
She said she had a wish list for a man.
Oh, I would love to see it. Oh,
a mile long.
I bet it's like 10 things that are ridiculous.
I mean, I'd rather stick with the Green Party wish list.
Angela Rye's man wish list.
Whatever she dreams up.
I feel like the Green Party wish list is way easier to achieve than Angela Rye's man wish list.
Much more realistic. Less contradictions.
If you're real, you'll have Angela Rye see a clip of this and send a very angry email.
Tupac with a PhD.
Thank you guys. Pascal, have a good rest of your day. No more protein shakes and pre-workout before the show.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you give us a heads up beforehand that we have to give you a wide berth. Because you called a jihad out on edges like that is going to be trouble. And I'm here for it. We are out.
Peace.